Warning, the following video is definitely not Jim Ryan approved. Viewer discretion advised? Greetings fellow Vita fans, this is James with PS Vita at 2 AM, coming at you once again with another exciting video. And if you're new here and love everything PlayStation Vita, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to share your thoughts and opinions with me on this topic down in the comments section. Well everyone, I think it's high time that we played some games that looked ancient and then afterwards question ourselves as to why we're even playing them in the first place. Am I right, Jim? Okay, but all kidding aside here, this is the first time on this channel that I've actually talked about PS Vita games that you can play on your PS Vita that aren't PS Vita games, even though they're on the PS Vita, so I guess they're kind of sort of PS Vita games. They're PlayStation 1 games that you can play on your PS Vita. I know, I'm just as confused as you are, and with that out of the way, here's the first game, and that game is Alundra. Now it's no secret at this point in time that although this is a PS Vita channel, we have a lot of viewers out there who enjoy the Zelda series. Don't worry, I won't say anything if you won't. Well, what if I was to tell you guys that the PS1 got their own version of Zelda, kinda sorta, but it's not called Zelda, of course, because of copyright. And while this definitely has an old school Zelda feel to it, it does do things differently enough to where it kinda makes it its own thing, but still will appeal to Zelda fans. I mean, the main character has pointy ears for crying out loud. I think that makes him a contestant. In this game, you play, unsurprisingly, Alundra, and he's the protagonist and main character. He's an elf, oh, there's that Zelda reference again, from the clan of Elna, and is known as a dream walker. He is a silent protagonist, of course, because, you gotta have that whole Link affair. He set out for a place called Inoa because of a recurring dream in which a mysterious figure who calls Alundra the Releaser tells him that he must save the villagers from the evil of Melez. His ship is caught in a storm, and he is later found washed ashore on an island, unconscious. And pretty much after that, he has to go into various people's dreams and solve their problems, which the dream areas sort of take place like a Zelda dungeon, with all the things you'd come to expect from such a game, such as the combat, puzzles to solve, the overhead top-down view, and more. So if you love Zelda and haven't given Alundra a try, pick it up today, except for Alundra 2. Don't play that one wasn't as good. And when I said wasn't good, it traumatized me. So the second game, it's pretty unique, and not only that, but it's also a fantastic playing game and a hidden gem. I don't know, are people using that word too much these days? This be the Firemen 2, Pete and Danny, which by far has to be the best title ever used in a video game. It's just Pete and Danny, which is, yep, you guessed it, a sequel to the first Firemen game, but I kinda like 2 a little bit better than the first. Why? Well, it has 2 characters named Pete and Danny. You just can't compete with something that awesome. Ever wanted to be a hero? Here's your chance in this solid sequel to the art of firefighting. Pete and Danny are comrades in arms, ready to help trap victims out to terrifying fires. The action is set in the center of a burning theme park. You'll be briefed on your mission, and off you go. 2 types of hoses are at your disposal. A wide spray or a power jet. Kinda odd too, because their hose seems to be infinite. Pretty sure that's messing with some sort of laws of nature there, or physics perhaps? Oh, and did I also mention something to you guys? Boss fire? Am I right? That's pretty cool. Huh, there was a terrible pun in there somewhere. But yes, I am recommending this game just for its awesome shooter sort of style-like gameplay and just for how unique it is, man. You just don't see games like this anymore. Pick it up today. It plays awesome on the PS Vita. Okay, so looking for an actual shooting game, but Firemen 2 not enough for you? Well then, I say you should try out Gaia Seed, a game that actually is 100% of a shooter. But I still recommend you picking up Firemen 2. Do it for Pete and Danny. But in Gaia Seed, it's a horizontal, scrolling shooter from TechnoSoul. As in, I probably didn't say that right. And considering that this is such an expensive game on the actual PS1, being able to download it on your PS Vita is all types of win. The game has solid control, precise bullet collision, and a simple power-up system. With 6 stages, it's not the longest game on the block, but the massively scaling 2D backgrounds and variety of difficulty make up for that. But the real beauty of Gaia Seed, you may ask, lies in its subtlety. The technique and effects will give shooter aficionados a work of art to go along with their game. The soundtrack stands out as its techno-ambionic mood, and it adds a subtle nature to the work. The effects and twists in the game will have you on edge, and for those reasons alone, I can highly recommend this one. However, there wasn't any actual Pete and Danny in this game, so it automatically gets a 0 out of 10 for that. Okay then, flying the unfriendly skies not enough for you? Want to bring it onto the streets and pour on the pain? Well, I have something that might just be right up your alley. This is Double Dragon on the PS1 that you can play on your PS Vita. And yeah, it's just called Double Dragon, but it's not the side-scrolling beat-em-up. This is a fighting game in the SNK Neo Geo style of gameplay. Oh, and fun fact here, it's based off of that crappy movie that nobody saw, or maybe that too many people saw. I just know it traumatized many of us as kids in the 90s. And I'm still feeling its effects, which would explain a lot. Now, as far as this game goes, it plays a lot like the Neo Geo fighters such as Fatal Fury and the like, but as far as its story goes, well, it's a fighting game from the 90s, so you know you're not gonna get Shakespeare level of quality here when it comes to a storyline. But as far as its gameplay goes, yeah, it's completely and totally solid, especially if you love Neo Geo fighters, such as I do, such as Samurai Showdown. But this game doesn't have much in the way of weapons with it, so, you know, not like Samurai Showdown. And what I like about this particular version of the game is not only can you play as many of the Double Dragon characters from the movie, but also from the game too. A Bobo, anyone? So yeah, if you're looking for a fighting game with a little bit different of a twist and a familiar theme, I highly recommend this one. Okay, now here's a game that probably nobody out there has ever heard of, Rapid Angel. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up made by the same people behind Gaia Seed, so that would make it completely and totally awesome here, right? Well, it's not quite as fun as that game, but I do think this title does have some merit here. It was released way back in 1998, and as a Japanese anime-style beat-em-up. Heck, you can tell from those giant eyes now, can't you? Yep, I think we're in 90s territory here, people. The plot, for what little plot this game has, features 3 delivery girls named Natsumi, Ayane, and Haruna, who work for a delivery company called, you guessed it, Rapid Angel. Rapid Angel is a side-scrolling brawler. There are 3 selectable characters, and each of the 3 delivery girls have their own attack techniques. The game contains even a 2-player mode where the second player can act as a support unit for the first player, which I don't think will work on the actual Vita, but you might be able to pull this off on the PS TV. So think of a game kind of like Final Fight, just without any of the depth. Yeah, I will admit here, this is the one recommendation on my list where I gotta admit it's not a completely awesome game. It's a title that definitely has its flaws. It's pretty much paint by the numbers, jump on platforms, punch and kick, pull off a special move every now and then. You know, you've seen this stuff done many times before. But it's just because no one has ever really talked about this series and I hardly see any videos of it on YouTube, I just wanted to kind of bring it to your guys' attention. And on the PS Vita store, it's a pretty cheap title, which will only cost you around $5 or $6. So for that price, I think it's worth at least trying to check out, even if it's not so much with the awesome. And while this game by no means blew me away with its paint-by-the-number gameplay, I still found a decent time with it. I mean, hey, at least it didn't traumatize me like the Double Dragon movie did. And next game is, oh wait, we're done. And that'll do it. What did you think about my choices for great PS1 games to play on your PS Vita? I tried to choose between a mix of games that I feel a lot of people knew about, and then some games that not many people knew about. I know I'm missing some top tier ones such as Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but you know, I feel like a lot of people already know about that game. But what games do you suggest? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comment section, guys. Let me know. And as always, fellow Vita fans, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. This video has been brought to you in part by all of these wonderfully generous people who help make this content possible, including Robert Johnson, Makis Blob, Zecrito, B Mystery, Matt Fox, Freeden, Joseph Razmick, Reiko Star, Murarashi, Shin Snake, Milk Sama, Bushin Ryu Cat, Alan Iwazu, Dr. Super Artie, Matt Hargett, Jamie, Robert Sylvester, Hector Gonzalez, Smug Wolf, Romp King, Mazgus, Crazy Cat, Michael O'Connor, Kayonko, Sakib Alam, Donut Valley, Tasha Monty, Colossus, 1488 Dental, Burrs and Mystery, Azumara, Juan M. Hermosillo, Nintendo Switch at 2 a.m., Eric DeWitt, Ricardo Martinez, Hero Acer, BMF, Phantom XRS, Gutter Drums, Hemdall Imbert, Saul Ramirez, Clayton Malarkey, Adam Sondi, PS Vita S, Joshua Williams, Kyle Brooks, Richard Cruz, Jared Haddo, JR, Laurie Sweeney, Kevin Enright, E-Rock, Jelle, Heston Joseph, Per Sterner, H-Hitter, Aaron Swanson, Adam Thury, Wendy K, Larry Anderson, Rodrigo Vera, Skulshurtugal TCG, and David Ray. If you would be interested in supporting the channel and seeing your name on this end screen here, or if you wish to remain anonymous, that can be provided too, then make sure to check the links down in the description below. I have numerous ways for you to do this down there. Can't support in this manner? Don't worry about it. Likes and shares can help equally as much. Oh, and another fun fact here, you know what the most painful part about doing this video was? Reminiscing about that old Double Dragon movie.